The Honourable Member for Mississauga South.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'm splitting my time with the member for Vancouver Centre. Mr. Speaker, I've enjoyed the debate today because it does paint a picture. It paints a picture of a government who is more interested in not governing. In fact, Mr. Speaker, since this party was that party was elected, they've spent more time campaigning than they have in fact governing, and it really is a shame because, Mr. Speaker, it politicizes the legislative process in a way in which is not helpful to Canadians. Now, Mr. Speaker, I want to talk about two aspects. Members have indicated very clearly the scope of this motion. There are a couple of elements that I wanted to address in my brief 10 minutes. Number one is the whole idea of the access to post-secondary education. Mr. Speaker, in my work as a member, I have spent a fair bit of time looking at the implications to Canada, to the health of our country, to the knowledge-based economy of an education and what it means in terms of employment levels. Now, the last figures that I saw, Mr. Speaker, and there may be more recent, but just to give an idea of the relative dimension, someone who had was a high school dropout, their unemployment rate today would be somewhere around 15%. For someone who had a high school education, that would drop to about 12%. Mr. Speaker, if you have a post-secondary degree or equivalent or some skills training or college training, the unemployment rate actually drops to about 3 to 4%. Mr. Speaker, and depending on the nature, sometimes even down to a fraction of a percent in certain disciplines. So it's pretty clear that there's a correlation between level of education and the ability to find good employment in the future and secure employment. The other aspect of it, Mr. Speaker, is that the starting salaries between people who have jobs at different levels of education. Mr. Speaker, the difference between a high school graduate and a university or college graduate is somewhere in the range of $5,000 to $7,000 difference and at the starting level, and that, Mr. Speaker, in fact would grow, Mr. Speaker, over the life of the person's working career. And Mr. Speaker, the bottom line that I concluded is that people in Canada, our young people in Canada, cannot afford not to go to post-secondary. Now, I was delighted to meet today with representatives of the Canadian Federation of Students, Mr. Speaker, and one of the young people was one of my constituents, and I want to give him recognition. His name is Walid Khogali, and I want to spell it. It's W-A-L-I-E-D. Surname is K-H-O-G-A-L-I. This young man is a leader in the student community at the University of Toronto Mississauga campus. He is tremendously articulate. He has visions for his future, but he is working here on Parliament Hill along with many other students. We're talking to members of Parliament, talking to them about the access to post-secondary and some of the ways in which we can do this. And Mr. Speaker, I was very, very impressed with our understanding about the implications or how the rubber hits the road, how the dollars hit the road, whether it be from the Millennium Scholarship Fund, the Canada Health and Social Transfer, where there is a post-secondary component, or the Canada Student Loans Program. They have ideas, Mr. Speaker. I was very impressed, I was encouraged, and I told them right off the bat that they have my full support, because I honestly believe, Mr. Speaker, that young people cannot afford not to go to post-secondary to be able to be full participants in a successful economy of Canada. We need them.